what it is. I'm feeling pretty rough around the edges right now, and I'm a little tired. I don't even honestly know what day it is, but I know that I was up until about 2 o'clock last night, and I was up again at 6 o'clock this morning because I started getting this flow. I've been really wanting to for the last year or so. I've been itching to write a book, and the problem is that I don't have a lot of patience, nor do I feel like I'm a very good writer, but I'm gonna give it a whirl anyway. I'm happy to report that over the last day and a half, I have figured out a way to write down 14,000 words. It's a lot of words. Honestly, I need a shower, I need some more coffee, I need a haircut, and I need a beard trim. It's like getting itchy. Time to get out of this chair. Poof! Look at that, I'm all cleaned up. And I'm feeling good, and I'm ready to continue writing this book, except what's ended up happening now while writing this book and getting information is sometimes you want to use an analogy or point the reader into a direction where you have to state somebody else's opinion or some other type of fact, and you got to quote them, and then before you do that you actually have to use Google and type in stuff and it's a mess. But I'm finding the process to be actually really fun. I'm actually learning a lot of stuff, and I'm even learning new words. I've got thesaurus.com window popped up right next to my word processor so that when I need to sound clever, I can just kind of type in a word and get a new word for it, a better word. Let me explain something to you. This book is pretty hard to write. Why? Because it's my first time ever really trying to write anything that somebody else should be reading. You see, when I was in high school, everything that I wrote was like 10 pages max. And the only person that was ever gonna read it would be my English teacher or my whatever teacher. Occasionally my parents would read my stuff, but that was it. But when you write a book that you're trying to maybe get into the hands of other people, and by the way, if you're writing a book and not trying to get it into the hands of other people, what are you even doing? You want to make it as good as possible. You want to write really well. You want to have some, funny analogies. You want to include all sorts of things, and then, you don't want to tell all the story right up front. You have to kind of slow it down, because if you tell the story how you usually do when you're talking, it can get a little boring. Anyway, the big point that I like to push through your computer screen right now is that you've got to get started. I have tried so many times to start writing this book and talk about sales and break down different techniques, but after 2 sentences, I hold the backspace button down and I just delete it all because I want it to be perfect, or I don't know what direction it's gonna go in, or I don't think I'm using the right words, or maybe somebody will make fun of me. I'm here to tell you right now that none of those things actually matter. And the best thing that you can do with your time right now is get started on the thing that you want to get started on. Who knows? Maybe this book crashes and burns, sells 5 copies, and all 5 people ask for a refund, and then I get some bad press, and then I go out of business, and then lose my car and my house and my well-being. But what could happen is it could end up being a bestseller, and it could entertain hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of other people out there in the world looking to better themselves. I'm guessing that more than likely something in the middle of those 2 things will happen. Yeah. Regardless of what happens though, the best thing that you can do is just get started. Stop worrying about perfect pages, and stop worrying about writer's block, and stop worrying about what the cover should look like, and stop worrying about self-publishing it, and just stop worrying. Honestly, no matter who you are, what you do, what you feel like creating, whether it's a video or a song or a sales pitch or a watch or whatever it is, if you want to create something, if you want to do something and you've been thinking about doing it and you've been kind of putting it off and you've been procrastinating and then you're sleeping on it and then talking about it, but you don't actually do anything, now is the time to do it. Whew. Because if you don't do it now, somebody else will instead. And honestly, do you really think that you want somebody else doing what you should be doing?